Hey, welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here from our studios in downtown Lansing. This is almost a place where we lived for so many years, and lately it's more of a place we visit periodically, but it's great to be here. And it's great to be here with this gentleman, a friend for many, many years, and just a guy who has done so much for the mid-Michigan area. Bob Trezise, President and CEO of LEAP, which is the Lansing Economic Area Partnership. And Bob, it's always good to have you here, bud.
Well, hi, Chris, and it's great to be on the Michigan Business Network. I always appreciate you guys, and I love it that you are following with great interest all of these important business grants around the state and right here in the Lansing area. Thank you.
Well, all this stuff speaks to the people we care about, which is, as you know, business. And so let's talk a little bit about more than 400 small businesses and nonprofits. You gave away $5.3 million. Where was I? I wasn't even in line.
Well, Chris, they say economic development is a team sport, a cliche, of course, except it's totally true. And if this is the best example of that ever, from federal legislation that made the money available through the state legislature, the MEDC and MSF board, and then right down here to LEAP. In the Lansing region, Clinton, Eaton, and Ingham County, $5.3 million. It is, historically speaking, the greatest infusion of money to the backbone of our economy, small businesses, 50 employees and less, that has ever occurred. And LEAP had 90 days to put this together. More than half of our staff pivoted, hate that word at this point, but pivoted and worked full time on putting the process together. And Chris, we wanted to be really intentional about this effort and make sure that all people of all populations are fully participating and have access to these programs. So we actually hired 9 diversity, equity, and inclusion groups that have really great pipelines to our community from underrepresented populations, minorities, women, veterans, and LEAP added onto that definition, persons with disabilities. And the state set a floor minimum of 30%, and I think our efforts paid off, and we were able to distribute that money not only in an equitable way across those kinds of populations, but as well, of course, equitably across the 3 county areas. So Chris, we gave out 412 grants, and we had in addition, by the way, to those 9 DEI groups, we had 60 additional reviewers from the entire region. So if you can imagine, 70 reviewers, so 412 grants were given. 63% of the micro businesses and traditional small business grants were women owned, 56% were minority owned, and 10% were veteran owned, and 4% went to persons with disabilities. And 412 businesses and not-for-profits, all under 50 employees, and received $5.3 million. So it's both a rewarding and a heartbreaking experience, Chris, as you can imagine, because that means only 25% of the people got the money. Yeah. And the messages, Chris, I don't want to be melodramatic about it, but I usually am. But I mean, but they were hard. I mean, messages of people saying, you literally saved our business.
Yeah.
And some of them said, you saved our lives. And these are our friends, our neighbors, the locally owned businesses, the true backbone of our neighborhoods and corridors and corners of our community. These are folks hopefully making money, but a lot of times, Chris, as you know, it's just their livelihood. And I don't think that's understood a lot, that how much money they do or don't make, but they are the backbone. And so it's been a real honor for us to serve our community this way.
Yeah, let me point something else out as well, and that is that you're right. A lot of these small businesses are basically about making jobs, and you see that in low economic times of high unemployment when business starts go up, and that's basically what it is. I've got to make a living, so I may be able to start a business. But I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about, my dad used to always say, it's very hard to do good. And your staff had to be just burdened with this whole process.
Well, the fact is that regional, sort of larger regional economic development agencies are known best for going out in the world and recruiting, top companies and helping grow top companies, working a lot with entrepreneurialism. But honestly, this was a major shift. On March 13th, we had to become a small business economic development agency. And, I think we did a great job at it. Our staff, I could not say enough about them. They literally work night and day. I know there was a point in time in the first round in May, that we were on something like 42 straight days in a row, Chris. And I know a lot of our staff in this round worked well over 20 straight days as just one piece of this. The due diligence, by the way, to get out that amount of money to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of businesses is an accounting feat all by itself to do it right. That we wire the money, bank accounts, legal agreements, matching up registration with Laura and the counties and making sure all is legit. That alone is a 30-day intense process. So I'm just happy though for them. Of course, it's absolutely about these small businesses. It's about us in this terrible crisis time, historic time, locking arms together. As you know, Chris, you're a champion of this, and standing together, and we're not alone. We're all working together for a better future.
Well, and you already know this, but I'll point out that a lot of the businesses that you helped are in that second stage era, and that's the fastest growing in the history of all businesses. That's the fastest growth area. So you're adding jobs as well, which is important. Bob, thanks so much for the good work you do, and thanks for being with us today.
You guys rock. Thank you.
All right, Bob Trezise. He's the president and CEO of LEAP, Lansing Economic Area Partnership. I'm Chris Holman, and you are watching Michigan Business Speak on the Michigan Business Network. We'll be right back.